The Golden Age of TV. From 1949 to 1964, the gold nearly dripped from the television sets in every American household. It changed daily conversations from "Did you hear?" to "Did you see?" The television itself, as well as the programs it showed, were changing, and the people of the decade were changing right along with it. There were many different theories as to why the Golden Age got its name. Some say that it's because after the color television was introduced in 1954, black and white televisions were much more common, so everyone, even those who couldn't afford one beforehand, went to the store and purchased a cheap TV. There was also a new kind of show called the sitcom, which gained immense popularity very, very quickly. The sitcoms like I Love Lucy, The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, among others, brought a romanticized spin on normal middle-class life. The people across America wanted clothes like Lucy's, a loving husband like Donna Reed's, and children like the Nelson boys. Another thing that everyone in America wanted: to feel special, and to watch other people, sometimes regular people, just like them, perform their special talents. The Beatles, Joan Rivers, Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson. The Ed Sullivan Show had it all. Everything America wanted to see. Dancers, singers, comedians. Ed Sullivan had it all. He made the golden age of TV what it was. The sitcoms and other shows of the decade weren't all pretend, though, when it came to lifestyle. Just like movies of the 80s, a radiant, vibrant version of the fashion of the age was put on screen. Women backcombed their hair, making it rise to new levels. There were also many wigs worn and a lot of cans of hairspray used. Their makeup and outfits were the same on screen as they were in reality, which made the women of the day able to relate to them and want to be like them. It made women feel good inside to watch the shows. When the public didn't want reality, however, there were other shows available for them. The most famous show of them all was The Twilight Zone. Its beginning said you're traveling through another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. The credits often showed pictures of E equals MC squared. Spirals, clocks, shattering windows. Its storylines were psychological and thrilling. And almost every episode had a twisted, unexpected ending. The show was also the first show on TV to take time and put money into the makeup and the costumes used, making it take leaps in the special effects department before anyone else did. The screenplays for every episode were written by Rod Serling. He gave inspiration to everyone, especially in the writers of today, like Stephen King, who has written books like It and Carrie, which were both successful movies, and Timothy Zahn, who wrote the Star Wars novels, and R.L. Stine, who has written over 300 books, including The Fear Street and Goosebumps books, and he's produced countless TV series and movies, including one that's on right now called The Haunting Hour. The Twilight Zone has had a great legacy. There have been movies and TV shows based off the series, like Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side, Twilight Zone the movie, and tons more. The original Twilight Zone, not including its latter-day series, had a span of 5 years from 1959 to 1964. There were beautiful actresses, captivating storylines, new and interesting topics, and everyone loved it. Now, in lots of schools, they play reruns of Twilight Zone to educate younger viewers about the lessons of life. The show has continued to live on in the hearts of young and old, no matter what their television preference, and on TV screens in schools and homes of America, also in the Twilight Zone. Then there was Gilligan's Island. 7 castaways, the first mate Gilligan, and the captain of the SS Minnow, Skipper, Mr. Howell the billionaire and his wife Lubby, a movie star named Ginger Grant, the professor, and Mary Ann the farm girl. Together, they made a mismatched family. It was one of the first shows on TV that didn't have to do with a real family, with a husband, a wife, 2 kids, and a dog. In fact, a lot of the drama surrounding it came behind the scenes and was instigated by none other than Ginger Grant. It all started out when the opening credits first aired, before the show switched from black and white to color in the 2nd season. The theme song referred to Mary Ann and the professor as the rest, but mentioned everyone else. By the next season, Bob Denver, who played Gilligan, made it very clear that he would leave the show if it wasn't changed. Most of the other drama was surrounding the clothing that was used on the show. Mary Ann's shorts were too short. Ginger's neckline was too low. Ginger would often pull her neckline down to expose more cleavage before shooting. She also said she had many sexual encounters with her castmates. The set of the show is quite different. There was no drama while exploring the lush jungle or swimming in the water outside the huts. It was mostly filmed in a studio, too, if you can believe that. Everything coming from the studio turned into magic on screen and left a large legacy, including 3 seasons, 1 movie, countless parodies, and a mini-series made in the mid-2000s. This slapstick comedy series had a lot of heart, despite its drama, and has made everyone fall in love with one castaway or the other. To true diehards of Gilligan's Island, there are still 7 people living in huts on an island eating coconut cream pie. You've seen this commercial, M&M snapping that catchy tune, dressed in costumes from the beloved TV show The Addams Family, based on the cartoons by Charles Addams. These characters, Morticia, Gomez, Lurch, Uncle Fester, Pugsley and Wednesday, and Grandmama, were a family that was weird. They were weird, and they were proud of it. It made everyone realize that it was okay to be different, even though the Addams Family was a bit exaggerated in their uniqueness. It wasn't all just crazy antics for the Addams Family, though. In fact, a lot of it was heartfelt and touching. The commotion behind the scenes was simple: the Addams versus the Munsters. The Munsters was a very similar show that debuted only 4 days after the Addams Family. From the beginning, they were competing for viewers. In the end, the clear winner was the Addams Family, because it had more than 5 movies, a lot of plays, and a few TV shows to precede it. Also, compared to the nearly asexual couples of the day, Gomez and Morticia were the first couple on TV to have a fiery and passionate relationship. But perhaps the biggest remnant that was left by the show were the bloodlines. John Astin, who played Gomez, had a son named Sean, who is very famous today. He starred in films like 50 First Dates, The Goonies, and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Wednesday, the daughter of Morticia and Gomez, in the latter-day films, was played by Christina Ricci. Her first job was in The Addams Family. If not for the Addams Family movies giving Christina a job, we would not have movies today like Cursed and Penelope. If the Addams Family were to be given any compliment, it'd have to be its originality. It was the first show of its kind. The concept was an insane risk to take during the Golden Age, but it paid off. The shows of the Golden Age and the movies of the 80s were similar in their respect. that they finally showed people in their realistic light. In the 80s, people of America wanted hair like Molly Ringwald's, a boyfriend like John Cusack, and friends like Demi Moore. Both decades had shows with characters and situations that were a glamorized version of the real world, which people obviously enjoyed. I guess that whether or not you're wearing leg warmers and cut-off sweatshirts, or having a bob hairstyle and pushing it up to high heaven, you're part of something special. Either the golden age of television or the 80s movies phenomenon. They were both so very similar, and such fantastic times for America. They will both live on in everyone's hearts forever.